on, everyone, and welcome back to Play Entertainment. My name is Chris, and in case you don't know, I review movies and I rate them on a scale of 0 to 100 in increments of 5. Okay, so I am super late with this review, like very late. I saw this movie either on opening day or on the Thursday preview, I forget which, when it came out back in late November. Okay, so I get I'm very late with this review. But when I saw it, I wasn't really quite sure how I felt. I knew I really liked it, but I don't think I really had my thoughts in order enough to where I could do my review. So I decided, you know what? Why don't I wait till I go see it again? Well, I checked my showtimes yesterday, and it turns out it's going to be taken out of theaters this week. So I was like, holy crap, I need to hurry up and go see it again. So I went today, and I think I have a better, well-rounded opinion of it now. I almost reviewed Fargo. I almost reviewed Fargo once, but it was kind of the same thing. The first time I saw Fargo, I thought, that was okay. And then I saw it again, and I thought, I love that. And I thought, I want to review it. But then I thought, no, I don't think I have my thoughts completely collected on it yet. So when I watch Fargo again for a third time, because I've seen it twice in my life, I'll be sure to review it. But so I kind of had that same thing with the Fabelmans. I saw it, I knew I enjoyed it, but I was like, I don't think I have my thoughts put together enough to really give this movie a proper review, and I think now I do. I even have this poster from the movie that I got for free at the Regal. Does your local movie theater ever just lay out free posters? Mine does that sometimes. Anyway, so The Fabelmans is a semi-biographical movie written and directed by Steven Spielberg about his own life, and it stars Gabriel LaBelle, Michelle Williams, and Paul Dano, and of course it was directed by Steven Spielberg. I literally just said that. And Gabriel LaBelle plays Sam Fabelman, who is there in place of Spielberg, and he discovers his love for filmmaking, and he goes through a lot of family drama at the same time. Like I said, it's semi-biographical to Spielberg. Yes, Spielberg did live and then moved, I don't remember where he lived originally, but he lived somewhere, then he moved to Phoenix, Arizona, and then he moved to Santa Clara, California, and the characters in this film do as well. So, it is very much based on Spielberg, but he changes a lot. And I was very much looking forward to this. I was super excited for the Fabelmans, because Steven Spielberg is my favorite director of all time. That man has changed my life. He is the main reason why I'm as into this as I am. And every time he releases a movie, for me, it's like an event. I gotta go run out and see it. And a movie loosely based on his own childhood, I was like, yeah, I can really get behind that. And it's a movie about somebody who loves filmmaking. And as somebody who loves filmmaking, I could really relate to that. And I think a lot of people can. Even if you're not into filmmaking necessarily, I think you can find a way to relate to this film. Anybody who's ever had a passion for anything and really wanted to do something with their life didn't just get it. They had to earn it, you know. And it takes a lot of no's and a lot of heartache and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but eventually you might be able to get there. And even then, a lot of times, you don't. And so anybody who's really had a passion for something can watch this movie and be like, I get that. I get that a lot. And this movie ultimately is a celebration of filmmaking. Now, this movie is about to leave theaters, and unfortunately it is very similar to Steven Spielberg's West Side Story that he released last year, where it's a really good movie, but it bombed at the box office. And this movie, I think this movie made just over half its budget, unfortunately. I even have West Side Story right here. I got it for $1 on Blu-ray. I really liked West Side Story, and I did a review for it if you want to go check it out. But I definitely think this is way better than West Side Story. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into my pros and cons. So for one thing, this movie has a Last Crusade reference in it. I like that. There's some point where you see Sammy Fabelman as a Boy Scout, and it very much reminded me of the opening scene from the Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. That had to be done on purpose. Either that or Spielberg just started filming and was like, oh, this is very similar to Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. Like there's no way he made this and didn't notice. It is very similar to Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, and I like that very much. This movie is a movie for movie lovers. If you are a lover of movies, you have to see The Fabelmans. No exceptions. If you like movies, you have to watch The Fabelmans. Otherwise, you don't like movies. Okay? Sorry. That's all there is to it. The performances in this movie are amazing. Gabriel LaBelle is this is clearly like his big breakout role. He's fantastic in it. Michelle Williams was really, really good in this movie. She's a little bit much at times, and I'll get into that later, but she's great in this movie. Paul Dano is fantastic in this movie, and Judd Hirsch steals the show. He's only in this movie for like 10 minutes or so, but holy crap, is he good in this movie. And he's probably going to get an Oscar nomination for his very, very brief appearance in this movie. Like, Jack Nicholson won Best Actor in a Supporting Role for A Few Good Men, but he had limited screen time in it. It was still way more than Judd Hirsch in this movie, but he had limited screen time. So I think Judd Hirsch will probably get nominated, but he's in the movie so briefly, I don't think there's any way he's going to win. His cinematography is also fantastic. There is this amazing shot, and you see it in the trailers, where you see Sammy Fabelman as a child, and he's got this little model train that's going around the track. And they get this shot of it coming right at his face, and it just looks beautiful. This movie really teaches you how art can overtake your life. If you really want to break into the film industry, it's not going to happen overnight. Like I said, it's going to take a lot of no's, a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And in Judd Hirsch's scene that he has with Gabriel LaBelle, he's talking to him, and he's like, hey, look, art can really overtake your life. And I'm willing to bet you care more about this than you do your own family. And, you know, he denies it, but you could see it in his face that he's starting to think, crap, maybe he's right. If you want to break into the film industry, it really does take up a lot of your time, and you have to make a lot of sacrifices. And this movie teaches that lesson very well, I think. This movie has a lot of emotional and touching moments. One of my favorite is when Gabriel LaBelle's little sister comes into his bedroom while he's editing a movie, and their parents just dropped a big revelation on them, and they're all upset about it. And they have this really sweet moment where they're watching his movie that he made of his school's ditch day, and they sit there together and watch it. And it's really, really sweet. There's also a lot of powerful moments between Sammy and his mother, and Sammy and his father. His mother and father play huge roles in this movie. Like, they are main characters in this film. They play a very, very big role in this movie, and he's got a lot of great scenes with them as well. The pacing is really, really good as well. This movie never gets boring, and the movie also doesn't come across as pretentious. I told somebody, I don't remember who, but I told somebody about this movie before it came out, that Spielberg was making a movie based on his own childhood, and they were like, oh, well, that's egotistical, but it's not. The movie doesn't come across as pretentious at all. It really, really works. It's a very sweet story, and I was really into it. And it just really spoke to me as somebody who has clearly found an artistic passion. I understood this movie. You know, and his mother is very free-spirited, so she's a little bit more supportive of it. His father is very methodical and smart, like science, machines, run the world, this is what's important. And then he's got the son who's very artistic, and he has a hard time wrapping his head around it. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that too. Like, even my own dad, don't get me wrong, my dad's always been very supportive of me, and I love him to death, but he's a very, very smart man. He's an engineer. That is how his brain works. My brain does not work at all the same as my dad's. My dad's way smarter than me. This is how my brain works. Yeah, I don't think that's the same way as him at all, so I kind of got that. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get into my cons. So, like I said, Michelle Williams is really good in this movie. She'll probably get an Oscar, not two, but at times she's a bit much. And it's not... It's mainly her. It's just sometimes the characters, the acting's a little bit over the top at times, and it's honestly a bit cringy in my opinion, especially with Michelle Williams. And again, she's fantastic in this movie, and I really really enjoyed her. But there were times where she was just a little bit much, and also the movie could be trimmed a little bit. Like there's scenes where like the Sammy and his family were just sitting around like singing and whatever, and I'm like, do we really need this? Do we? I mean, do we really need this? I don't think we need this. Like I said, the pacing's great, but there are times where I'm like, okay, this isn't really necessary. I don't need to see this. There's a scene in the movie where like Seth Rogen and Paul Dano, they grab Michelle Williams and start to like trim her fingernails, and everybody's like laughing and stuff. There's another scene where they're standing around a campfire and they're singing, and I'm like, what is this for? What is the point of this? But other than that, I thought this was great. This movie really spoke to me. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to buy it on Blu-ray when it comes out. And I'm going to give The Fabelmans a 90. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Pod Player Entertainment for more. Hit the like button. Leave me a review, suggestions down in the comments down below. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok, if I can ever post on TikTok again, at Pod Player Entertainment for channel updates and bonus content. Also, my top 10 of 2022 video will be coming soon. I will also be doing a review for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which I think also came out in November. Yeah. Oh, and The Pale Blue Eye. I'll be reviewing that. And I haven't seen Megan yet, but I'll go see that soon. So, thank you so much for watching, and much love.